privilege to host this year's Distinguished Teachers Ceremony. Today we get to celebrate not only the outstanding accomplishments of our 6 award winners, but to also recognize the contributions of our staff that they make every day. We're going to begin our program today with the debut performance of the Greenwich Public School Festival Orchestra under the direction of Ms. Connie Barrett, Mr. Aaron LaFaro, and Ms. Mercy Weidencourt. Please sit back and enjoy. Of the Festival Orchestra, we have the Western Middle School Jazz Ensemble under the direction of Miss Karen Anderson.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And the first piece we have for you, we have a list of soloists that will be improvising. Matt Cordfield on the alto sax, Philip Hughes on the trumpet, Al Roloff on the alto sax, Sam Brown on the trumpet, Dan Silkman on the trombone, and Tom Sudo on the alto sax. features Victoria Lido on the alto sax and Phil Hughes on the trumpet.
Weren't they great? Let's hear it also for the Greenwich Public School Festival Orchestra, who made their debut today. They really were terrific. And a special thanks to Don Strange for opening the doors of this beautiful facility to host the award ceremony. Don, thank you so much. Good afternoon. I am Dora Williams, and I have had the privilege of chairing the Distinguished Teacher Committee this year. Before we begin our ceremony today, there are a number of people I would like to recognize and thank. I am pleased to welcome our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Larry Leverett, the Chairman of the Board of Education, Colleen Jambo, our State Senator, Bill Nickerson, our Selectman, Peter Crumbine, State Representatives, Libby Florin, Dolly Powers, and Lyle Gibbons, and members of the Board of Education, there are quite a few in the audience, and Board of Selectmen. Please allow me to take a few moments to recognize other individuals who have been instrumental in this award program. First, a special thanks to the donors, whose generous contributions make this annual award and its accompanying stipend possible. Their names are listed in your program. Next, recognize the committee members. The members have given their thoughtful consideration to all aspects of this program. and have worked enthusiastically, diligently, and thoughtfully throughout the year. The Distinguished Teacher Award Committee is a community organization composed of 2 representatives each from the Board of Education, GOSA, GEA, and the PTA, as well as 8 members of the community at large. Will the members of the committee please stand? The committee has also been cheerfully and efficiently supported by Kim Eves, the Director of Communications. Kim, where are you? Thank you. The committee was created back in 1984, and it was created to honor and celebrate the outstanding and dedicated faculty of the Greenwich Public Schools. The selection process is based on 9 criteria. Each member votes independently, and the finalists are selected without discussion. The decisions are based solely on the outstanding credentials of the nominees that relate to the 9 criteria listed in the nominations packet. Although only 6 are recognized, it is truly an honor to be nominated. Excellence in education requires an effective partnership between the community, the parents, the Board of Education, the administrators, the teachers, and the students. All elements must be focused on the critical factor of student learning. Here in Greenwich, we are truly blessed by having an informed community, involved and caring parents, a Board of Education committed to excellence, and learned and dedicated administrators. However, as you will hear today, the teachers are at the heart of the effort. These teachers have developed a mutual trust and partnership with their students and all other components required to achieve excellence in education. We are here to celebrate 6 teachers who have been an inspiration to their students and peers, who have set the highest standards of academic excellence for their students and for themselves, and who have eagerly reached out and gone the extra mile for their students, the parents, the school, and the community. The Greenwich Public School System is truly fortunate to have an outstanding group of teachers. These distinguished teachers, along with the award recipients of the past 21 years, represent a continuum of excellence and achievement, all of which we are so proud of. Will all the former award winners in the audience please stand? At this time, I would like to call Dr. Leverett, who would like to offer his congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams, and thank you, members of the Distinguished Teachers Committee, for the very hard work that you have done to sort through a bunch of very challenging, wonderful applications to identify the 6 teachers who are being recognized today. Teachers, we all know, make a difference. They make a difference for our children, they make a difference for our school system, they make a difference for our society. Today, it is our chance to recognize a group of very accomplished, hardworking, everyday heroes who have done so much to make a difference in the classrooms of the Greenwich Public Schools. Our community is most fortunate to have this distinguished group of teachers as the representatives of our high-quality staff of educators. Today, we celebrate and honor this year's class of distinguished teachers and remember the many values and contributions made by teachers across this district who contribute to the excellence which is so important to the Greenwich community. We thank today's group of teachers for their contribution to the development of our children, both academically, socially, emotionally, and in all other areas of development. The distinguished teachers being honored today clearly go above and beyond the delivery of simple curriculum content. They take care of children, inspire children, and motivate children to be their best. These teachers keep our children safe during the day. They help them to build character, to become good citizens, and to pursue high academic goals. Long after the buses leave and take students home, teachers are working, preparing classrooms, grading papers, planning lessons, or talking to parents or colleagues when they are concerned about the performance or well-being of a child. These teachers that are honored today are teachers who empower our students to persevere when faced with challenges and to stay focused on the goal of being the best that they can be academically and in all other sectors of their lives. These are teachers who do whatever it takes, who make every sacrifice and go the distance to ensure that each day our students grow more prepared for the challenges ahead. We honor and appreciate you as members of the class of 2000 of distinguished teachers. I've had the opportunity over the past several years to visit a number of your classrooms and to work with you in a variety of settings. And I know that the class of 2006 is indeed distinguished. Historian James T. Adams once said, "There are obviously two educations. One should teach us how to make a living, and the other, how to live." We are thankful for teachers who inspire our children to be successful in both of these areas. Teachers make a difference, and we are eternally grateful for the inspiring success that you have had in working with our children. Thank you very much.
This is the good part. We get to meet our newest class. The nominators will be introducing the teachers. Linda Phillips will introduce our first distinguished teacher, Nan Barrett.
Good afternoon. I'm a third grade teacher at Riverside School, and it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce Nan Barrett as a distinguished teacher for the 2006 school year. Throughout the 12 years that I've worked with Nan, she's been a comforting, supportive port in the storm to the ESL students, their families, my colleagues, and me. I liken Nan to a goodwill ambassador. Her open door policy, diplomacy, extensive knowledge of other cultures, and compassion for others enables her to comfort a homesick child, praise a student's work, or modify an assignment at the drop of a hat. Her gracious, warm personality is like a beacon in the night. Students clamor to be with her. "Can I have lunch with Miss Barrett?" they plead regularly. Nan's open door policy for the ESL parents extends beyond classroom walls. She schedules numerous meetings and celebrations throughout the year, and a permanent ESL committee has been established on the PTA with her assistance in order to integrate that population into the life of the school and the Greenwich community at large. Nan also sets realistic yet high expectations for her students. For example, recently a Dutch student who knew little English arrived with a strong work ethic and the ability to catch on quickly. Nan ensured that between us we fostered the student's ability to learn and challenge herself. Within a few months, the student was a confident, animated Harriet Tubman in a classroom play on Black history and an articulate presenter of a nonfiction project in front of classmates and parents. Not surprisingly, Nan attended both performances. As a skilled professional, supportive colleague, and overall goodwill ambassador, Nan is an outstanding example of how a distinguished teacher is defined by the Greenwich Public School System and promotes excellence.
First of all, I would like to say thank you. With the many accomplished teachers in Greenwich, it is a great honor to receive this recognition. In accepting this award, I would like to thank Linda Phillips, my esteemed colleague who has nominated me, Chris Winters, our ESL coordinator, and Riverside Principal John Grasso, the ESL families, and the PTA. I would also like to extend thanks to the Riverside staff, ESL support staff, and volunteers, as well as my ESL district colleagues. Finally, I would like to thank the ESL students for their determination and perseverance, which are an inspiration to me, motivating me to be the best teacher I can be. When a new ESL student enters our school with limited English, with a school background and cultural expectations from another country, this student enters a situation filled with stress, frustration, and sometimes fear. As the student learns English and assimilates, they often face the challenge of being caught between two worlds. My role as the ESL teacher is to empower these students with the tools that they need in their journey of learning English and the support that they need to feel confident and be successful. I listen to their voices, sharing their joys and anxieties as they juggle learning English, academics, making friends, developing hobbies, and often building skills in their native language. I have daily rewards working with the ESL population at Riverside School. Whether a child speaks his or her first words, gives a presentation in front of a large group, or smiles with an air of self-assurance. It is truly a privilege to work with these amazing children in this great district and community, and I really feel that this is the best job for me. Thank you very much.
I'm on again. John Waters will introduce our second distinguished teacher, Liz Black.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having me here today. My name's John Waters, and I'm here on behalf of my sister Ann Waters and myself to introduce Elizabeth Warren Black. For 17 years, Liz Black has passed along her love for mathematics to students at Greenwich High School. And in this time, she's impacted thousands of individuals. And trying to characterize Liz in just a minute, that can be sort of a challenge, but if Ann and I were to choose the most impressive aspect of Liz's personality, it would be her investment in other people. On the surface, Liz teaches math. More deeply, she shows students how to be their best. See, Liz is warm and she's caring, she's always available, and she never lets any student settle for less than his or her best. When Liz presents material, she coaches, she encourages, and she's always positive. And in the process, she gives students confidence that they can succeed. Ann and I were two students who benefited from Liz's mentorship, and in our opinion, we can only hope to match a fraction of Liz's success in making others feel valued and empowered. It's my pleasure to welcome Liz. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, everyone. As a young teacher, I wanted to make math fun and easy for my students. But I quickly learned that there would be good days when everything clicked, and bad days when classes were frustrating. But even those bad days helped me to learn that it's not always about making math fun. Sometimes the struggle is enough, managing the days when it doesn't come easy and finding meaning in sticking with something that's really hard. My students' perseverance, curiosity, trust, and insight are a daily source of energy. They inspire me with the courage to ask difficult questions, to put their pride aside, to lean on each other, and to take risks. They make me want to continue being a student myself. It has been my pleasure to work with so many good and smart young students like John and Ann Waters, who are looking ahead to life's challenges. It is in seeing them grow into intelligent, worldly, and caring adults that I feel the real privilege of being a teacher. It is also a privilege and a joy to work with so many talented professionals at Greenwich High School. Specifically, Jory Lockwood, my faithful friend, mentor, and colleague who's been at my side for 17 years, and Claude Frank, my irrepressibly upbeat housemaster, who brings a wonderful spirit to Sheldon House every day. Ann Waters recently shared a quote from Maya Angelou, who said, "You don't want to go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands. You need to be able to throw something back." Thank you to everyone here for throwing something back. It means everything to teachers. Thank you.
Jill Marchak will introduce our third distinguished teacher, Bill Bogardus.
Good afternoon. It's possible that 1,000 years from now, historians will perform a study of the eastern seaboard and wonder why, in a small pocket of southwestern Connecticut, people seem to live longer and have more healthy lives than the rest of the general population. That study may conclude that it's some strange freak of genetics. Or perhaps they may discover the presence in the community of an extraordinary man whose passion was physical activity and nurturing the lives of children in their formative years so that they too would adopt habits that would last a lifetime and perhaps increase their lifetime. Well, there is such a man among us, and his passion for what he teaches creates habits that will last for a long time, whether it's teaching at North Street School or volunteering in one of countless community service activities. He embodies excellence as an educator and as a role model to our youth. It is truly a blessing for our school district to have him be a part of it, and it is my privilege to introduce Bill Bogardus.
Good afternoon. It's such an honor to be standing up here right now. There were so many people involved in this process, and I would not be up here without their support and encouragement. First, I would like to thank Jill and the Marshak family for initiating the nomination process and for putting the entire packet together. I would also like to thank Colleen Morey, not only for writing a great letter, but for her continued support and for challenging me to become a better teacher. Another thank you goes to Dave Bruni. Dave was working very hard completing his best portfolio and still find the time to write a letter for me. I also want to thank Betty Burfine and all the staff at North Street School. I am touched by their passion and proud to be part of such an amazing group of teachers. There are many others involved in this process that I am so thankful for, and I hope they realize how much their kind words meant to me. Although I am standing here alone right now, I obviously did not get here without their support. It is such an honor to be the first physical education teacher to ever receive this award. Although I am very proud of my own accomplishments, standing up here, I feel I represent the physical education program as a whole. Physical activity improves academic performance due to enhanced oxygen delivery to the brain. Studies show a huge mind-body connection for physical, mental, and emotional health. It is great to see Greenwich Public Schools recognize physical education as important as other academic disciplines. Finally, thank you to my parents for instilling in me a passion for fitness, believing in me, and being my motivation to be a physical education teacher. I told my fiancée Jen I would not use any corny quotes in this speech. Sorry, Jen. I appreciate all your support, but I have to. Dave Scott, 6-time Ironman triathlon champion, said, "If you set a goal for yourself and are able to achieve it, you have won your race. Your goal can be to come in first, to improve your performance, or just to finish the race. It is up to you." Thank you. And remember, 7 days without exercise makes 1 week.
so true. Okay, Thomas Shue will introduce our fourth distinguished teacher, Charles DeSapio.
Good afternoon. On the very first day of my chemistry class of my high school career, I was welcomed with a smile and a handshake, two simple gestures that set the tone for a rewarding and challenging subject. I had the pleasure of having Mr. DeSapio for 2 years in a row, and his passion and love for chemistry was consistent throughout. Honestly, I have never met a teacher who embraces and loves the subject he teaches as much as Mr. DeSapio does. It is difficult to put into words, but when he is describing a concept, any concept of chemistry, the joy and passion in his voice reveals how much he cares about his work and about chemistry in general. He has the continual support and respect of all his students, past and present, as well as his colleagues. Nowadays, when I see him in the hallway, I make sure that I throw him a smile and go in for the handshake first, because I look forward to seeing him every time. With that being said, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Charles DeSapio.
I'd just like to thank Tom for nominating me. It is a distinct honor to be nominated by one of my former students. I also would like to thank my colleagues back at Greenwich High School, particularly the Science and Technology group, who always gave me advice whether I wanted it or not. Okay. I also would like to thank my family for all their love and support over the years as I pursued my passion, which is teaching and teaching chemistry. And finally, I would like to thank my students, both current and former, for molding me into the teacher that I am today. So thank you very much.
Lindsay Alfano, Mark Lodato, and Emma Fountain will introduce our fifth distinguished teacher, Karen Harris.
I'm Lindsay Alfano, and I'm a third grader from North Mariana School. Mark Lodato, Emma Fountain, and I nominated our first grade teacher, Miss Harris, for this award because she is a wonderful teacher. We would like to tell you why Miss Harris is a distinguished teacher. She is funny and tells jokes. Miss Harris is enthusiastic and exciting. She teaches us in a fun way. She is always happy to see us. She is cheerful and in a good mood every morning. She is at the classroom door with a smile on her face. Miss Harris helps us with our work and makes us feel special. She gives us work we can handle. Miss Harris helps us with our reading and writing and teaches us before school if we need extra help. She makes us love reading and feel good about ourselves. Miss Harris makes us laugh when she does a can-can. She does the can-can and the crazy dance and the snow dance when we want snow to come. Miss Harris teaches us many things. She teaches us how to read and how to use money. She does really fun experiments and projects. She teaches us to be responsible students. When we disappoint her, we get a sour apple, but she is always fair to everyone. Miss Harris gives us jelly beans when we are good. She is sweet and has a sweet tooth. She rewards us when we are good. Miss Harris has a marble jar, and when we do a great job, we get a marble. When it is full, we get to have a celebration like an extra recess. Miss Harris reads us chapter books that are funny. When she reads to us, She reads the book like she is living it. She will scream and talk in different voices, and her characters come alive. Miss Harris taught us chicken soup with rice, and we would dance and sing. She is a beautiful and giving person. She taught us to be good friends, respect each other, and not be bullies. Every Friday she would organize Friendship Day and would pair us up with different students in the class. We would play on the playground with our partners so that we would make new friends. She teaches us to help others. She had us make spring toy and book baskets for kids in Kentucky. We made the baskets and mailed them with letters that we wrote. She says goodbye, Dolly, at the end of the day, and we give her a big hug. She gives us great big hugs at the end of the day and tells us we did a good job. She has lots of kids that comes here after school just to say hi. Even big kids come back from high school. She is a great teacher. She just is. She helps all the new teachers in the school. We have student teachers in our class that watch her because she is such a good teacher. The students, parents, and teachers at North Miami School think Miss Harris is the best. Please come see her teach. She will do her dance for you and read you a story, and you will understand exactly why she won the story.
Okay, now you know why I love first grade. I chose to write a poem since that's kind of what I'm noted to do, and people encouraged me to do so, to express how I felt about this award. My life as a teacher, right from the start, has been all about families so dear to my heart. My parents and sisters were first, behind me all the way, from the time I entered college until this very day. Later in life, I finished my degrees with support from my sons. Listening to all my projects, weren't they the lucky ones? My North Mianus colleagues have always been there too. In good times and some sad times, they've helped me see them through. The principals I've worked with, Sue, Lucy, Frank, and Bonnie make four. From these very giving people, I couldn't ask for more. All the students I've had, big in number are they. I'm your other mother, I'm often heard to say. Parents of my students, they've been wonderful to me. I've formed some lasting friendships. I think empathy has been the key. Helping children learn, for me it's a pleasure. These little ones in my care, every single one is a treasure. So, I have many to thank for where I am today. I love you all dearly. What more can I say?
Hard act to follow. Last but not least, Elise Crow will introduce our sixth distinguished teacher, Bob Wilson.
It is my pleasure to introduce my AP English teacher, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson has a contagious smile and an engaging personality that balances a gentle sense of humor and serious intellectualism. He is incredibly personal and interacts with students in a way that creates a high level of comfort in the classroom by encouraging questioning and participation. He sets a wonderful example for all his students as well as other teachers, which is why his retirement this year will be a poignant event for all of us. He will leave behind a distinct legacy that will benefit students and teachers for years to come. Mr. Wilson has thoroughly conveyed his love of English and his enthusiasm for teaching to all of us. I am so pleased that he has been recognized for his character, his knowledge, his love of the art, and his inspiration to students. In the words of Henry Adams, "A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops."
Thank you very much, Elise. I'm honored. Many people have given me advice on what to say today. You know, teachers. Some told me, forget about those thank yous. You only have a minute. We want to get to the refreshments. But please know that I do have thankful thoughts in my heart for so many in the Greenwich High School community. Others advised me to tell an interesting, entertaining teaching anecdote. The problem is that the serious ones are either too personal or too sad. And most of the funny ones can't or shouldn't be told in public. So what I'd like to do is just imaginatively bring you today into my classroom, because today was a very special day. This is a very emotional ending to a very special day. Our seniors, this is their last day for many of them, because they're starting an internship tomorrow for the rest of the year. Excuse me. And today was my last class. And Elise is in that class. And today what I had them do was list the name of every teacher they've had in their 13 years. And then we told stories. And if you could have seen the smiles and heard the laughter in that room, that's what it's about. They spend so much time in school, and they appreciate it. And I said to them, from the point of view of a teacher, just what a wonderful profession it is, satisfying. And I said how all of you out there, as well as I, remember all these students, just as we know in their hearts that we're there. We may not hear from them, but as parents, we've sent them out, and we know that we're in their hearts, and they're in ours. And so I'd like to end with a quote that is becoming more and more meaningful as the years go on. A quote that's attributed to Krista McAuliffe, the astronaut teacher. And that is, "I touch the future, I teach." Thank you.
At this time, I would like to introduce the Board of Education Chairman, Colleen Giambo.
Distinguished teachers, committee members, and guests, I am pleased to be speaking to you today. I want to thank the Distinguished Teachers Committee for their work in selecting the honorees, and Dora Williams for her hard work in the organization of this fine event. The Distinguished Teachers Award ceremony is one of the highlights of the school year. As spring comes round again, we recognize the accomplishment of fine, dedicated individuals who have added their time, talent, skills, and effort for the benefit of the students in Greenwich, and it's an honor to acknowledge you. Recently, the Board of Education held meetings with different groups to discuss a new policy that we had written regarding the positive qualities and behaviors we thought were important to develop in students. Within that policy are such desirable qualities as kindness, honesty, hard work, tolerance, ability to work with others, and other positive qualities like organizational skills and perseverance. We wanted to see that these qualities and behaviors are reinforced in the classroom as well as in outside activities. One thing that we included in the policy was that students would develop these qualities best if these behaviors were modeled by the adults in the system. By holding meetings with different groups, what we call linkage meetings, we asked for feedback on the new policy. We wanted to know whether people thought it was important to develop these qualities and what they thought the school's role in reinforcing these qualities was. We learned that there was a common area of agreement. And my point in telling you this is that there was a moment from the linkage meetings that really stayed in my mind, and I'd like to share it with you. We spoke with high school students, and as you know, high school students don't always look like they're paying attention in class. But the students shared with us something, and it really stayed with me. One of the students said, "We hear what the teachers say even though we don't look like we're listening, and we really remember it." And the point was that they would remember what was said, whether it was negative or positive. And apparently a careless remark is remembered just as well and as can be hurtful, but a positive remark of encouragement can be remembered for a long time. And a positive remark can inspire the student to strive and to achieve and to step up responsibly and respectfully when the teacher shares his or her expectations for the student. To me, that's why it's such a pleasure to acknowledge teachers who are truly inspiring to students. In my mind, a distinguished teacher is always teaching and understands that the students are always learning. Students hear the encouraging word and the inspirational word. They will take correction when needed, and they will shoulder a tremendous workload when teachers explain what it's for. A teacher can make all the difference by modeling exemplary behavior and creating an atmosphere of high expectation. Imagine how many lives have been positively influenced by the distinguished teachers that are here today. To be able to celebrate the success of these teachers that have positively influenced the students in their classrooms for many years is truly an honor. On behalf of the Board of Education, thank you and congratulations.
At this time, Senator Nickerson would like to offer his congratulations.
Thank you very much. For the last 3 months, I've been in another galaxy called the state legislature. I can't tell you much as I love that job, I can't tell you what a delight it is to descend to earth, to walk through the doors of this auditorium, and to participate and be inspired by everything that's happened here on this stage. As many times as I do it, it's a thrill to be a part of it. To be inspired by those young musicians who entertained us, by their fabulous music teachers, by the nominees who spoke so caringly of those who've helped mold their lives, and by the distinguished teachers. All teachers in Greenwich are distinguished. Otherwise, we wouldn't ask them to do the most important thing that this town does, which is to educate and be responsible for the caring and nurturing and developing of the most important thing in the town of Greenwich, our children. So these are the very best of the best, those who have exceeded their own expectations, and it's an absolute joy to be a part of that. Now, sometimes my mother told me actions speak louder than words. So rather than saying anything more, I'm going to ask you to join me in a standing ovation for all these distinguished teachers. You're the best.
It is such a joy to celebrate all the outstanding attributes that these teachers represent. Congratulations to each of you. You have ignited an excitement for learning in the lives you have touched, and you have given your students the capacity to make a better tomorrow. Thank you so much. you for joining us today in this celebration. Thanks again to Don Strange. And please join us for refreshments in the gymnasium. Thank you so much.